Hi friends, Toya here at Toya Talks. I got a question for you. Have you ever worked really hard to lose weight, made real progress, and then found yourself slowly slipping back? Well, if so, then listen. This video is for you. This is exactly where I am right now. If you've watched any of my prior videos, you've probably seen that I shared a lot about how I lost almost 100 pounds, 95 pounds exactly, utilizing intermittent fasting. This was back in 2020, and I kept that off for over 4 years. But over the last year, that weight has slowly been creeping back on. So this video is really just an honest, real-time check-in with all of you, especially because I know some of you may have been in this journey, right? So I want to share where I am, and most importantly, what am I going to do to reset, push past the discouragement, and get started with losing weight again, in the hopes that my steps and what I'm doing can help to inspire you, and we can walk through this together and get back on track for 2026. I know weight loss is probably a huge resolution for a lot of us. I know it's one for me. So I am excited to share with you what I've realized and what I'm going to do to move forward. All right, friends, so let's jump right in. So as I mentioned, if you followed me, you know that back in 2020, I lost approximately 95 pounds using intermittent fasting. I shared about that journey, and really it was proof that the intermittent fasting method worked and was sustainable. I'm not going to go too much into intermittent fasting right now, but for those of you who are not aware, it's basically a eating pattern where you eat within certain windows of time and then you fast during a different period of time. The combination of doing that consistently over time really helps you lose weight, and it also has a myriad of health benefits. I had been really frustrated with my weight for a long time, really was praying about it and just struggling in my spirit to figure out what to do to lose weight, right? Like I didn't want to do weight loss surgery or any of these different things. So it's like, what can I do? So found intermittent fasting. It felt like something doable. I didn't have to change the food that I ate. I didn't have to calorie count, which at the time I really hated. So it was a eating method that I could implement that worked with my lifestyle. And I had incredible results with intermittent fasting. Like I said, I lost almost 100 pounds, and I was able to really build my confidence and discipline and consistency over time. It probably took me about a year to lose 75 pounds, and I lost the full 95 pounds in about a year and a half. I felt really great, and then I kept that weight off for almost 4 years, maybe a little bit, about 4 years. But then the weight started to creep back on towards the end of 2024. So what that looked like was right around the holidays, I started noticing I was just eating a little bit more. Business was a little busier. Work got a little bit more hectic. So I wasn't as mindful of how I was eating. I wasn't following the intermittent fasting schedule, which once I'd lost the weight, I hadn't been following the schedule as strictly, but I was still being mindful of what I was eating. And so I was able to really successfully help keep that weight off. But then, like I said, end of 2024, around the holiday season, it just slowly started creeping back on. It just continued to increase all throughout 2025. And right now I am the heaviest that I've been since I lost all that weight. And I'm probably only about 30 pounds away from regaining the weight that I've lost, which feels really discouraging, right? So for me, I've had to go through a few different steps. The first step is really just to be aware that this was happening and to be honest with myself. Awareness really is the first and most important step. You have to own where you are without self-judgment, without shame, beating yourself up, right? But really own where you are. And for me, I had to say to myself, okay, you haven't really been, intermittent fasting as consistently as you had been before, right? And then I've also been eating out more frequently. I tend to only be a social drinker right? Maybe I'll have a glass of wine or a drink when I go out to eat. But lately, especially in response to stress, I've been drinking more alcohol, maybe having a glass of wine or two at night, where before I wouldn't really drink at home. And alcohol adds a lot of calories. So that was something else I had to be honest with myself about. I have had a really busy work and business schedule, like I mentioned. And so because of that, that's also caused some of this weight to creep back on, because I just haven't been as intentional, right, about thinking about what I'm eating. I'm also eating a lot on the go, right, picking up a lot of fast food because I'm always running from thing to thing. So that has also contributed to me gaining weight. I've also been less intentional with my movement. I've also shared on this channel how I got back into running and was really doing walks and or runs 3 to 4 times a week. And now I'm down to like a day a week, maybe walking, right? Some weeks I'm not getting out at all. So really, I've had a lot less intentional movement. And then, also happy weight is a thing, right? Life right now has actually been really good for me. I just recently got married and I've been really happy. But with that comes a lot of the happy weight, right? Like hanging out with hubby, eating cake or going out to eat or doing date nights, and all of those things, especially when you're not being mindful of what you're eating, can for sure cause weight gain. The next step for me has been identifying what I need to change. The first thing is to look at your behavior patterns, right? Instead of blaming yourself, what have you been doing? What are the patterns of behavior that you've been engaging in that has caused the weight gain? I know that I need to refocus on my nutrition and my hydration, right? I would talk about keeping my bottle of water, keep it full and keep it with you, right? My Stanley, your water cup, whatever that is, I would always keep it with me and I would keep it full of water and be always hydrating myself. And I haven't been doing as great with that, right? Same thing with my nutrition, getting fruits, vegetables, even taking a good quality multivitamin. I fell off of that. The movement I talked about, I fell off. The alcohol has picked up, which we talked about, as well as, just recognizing that when I look at all of these things, this awareness is not an indication of my failure. This awareness is information. And so I'm using this information to help me know what needs to change. So with that in mind, now, how do you restart? How am I restarting? I like to keep things very simple and sustainable. I need it to fit with my lifestyle. Otherwise, I'm just not going to do it. A lot of times when I tried to lose weight before, the reason things didn't stick was because it just didn't fit with my lifestyle. So first, I'm refocusing on nutrition in a way that feels doable for me. One of the ways that I'm doing this is using AG1. It is a drink supplement. It's basically like a really high quality multivitamin that you mix in water. You drink it once a day, and it has probiotics and vitamins and minerals. It's a green powder type of drink. So it's got a lot of, healthy things like kale and apples in a powdered form, right? You drink it in about 10 ounces of water a day. And I love that. It helps give me more nutrients. It helps support my energy and hydration. So AG1 is how I'm getting my nutrition back on track, right? Once a day, easy to do and sustainable for me. The other thing that I'm doing is returning to my consistent water intake. So as I've shown you, I've got my water nearby. I'm keeping this with me and working on just taking sips of water throughout the day so that I can keep my hydration up. Keeping up your hydration really helps with appetite control and suppression. So that's something else that I have been doing. Another thing that I've been doing is I am going to recommit to intermittent fasting with a clear structure, right? So I'm going to go back to the 12 to 8 eating method. That was the window of time that worked for me. So I would start eating around 12 o'clock and I would cut my eating off at 7. And then I would fast from 7 to 12 the next day. So I'm going to start with really just getting consistent with doing that again every single day. Additionally, I did mention that I hate calorie tracking, which is still true, but there is value in being aware of what you're eating. just starting in a way that feels realistic for me. I'm going to use the Lose It app to track my calories and fasting hours. And what I'm going to track is really just like one meal a day. That I'm going to count as a win, because what I've found is that if I just log onto the app and just tell myself you only have to log one meal, I oftentimes end up logging more than that. And the logging the meals is important because it keeps you aware of what you're eating, as well as I can't tell you how many times I've been surprised at how many calories is in a meal that I've eaten. I've logged some meals and that's been my calorie allotment for the day, right? Again, this is all information. It's not a point of shame or being like, oh my gosh, look, you fat pig, you ate all this food, right? No, that's not what we're doing. It's just more about, oh, okay, so that meal used all your calories for the day. Maybe we want to do a quarter of that meal in the future, or half of that meal, or maybe there's some things that we can sub out to make that meal a little more healthy and not have as much calorie content. The other thing I really love about the Lose It app is that you can put intermittent fasting in as your preferred eating method. It will allow you to start a timer when you start fasting, and then will count down your 16 hours so that I know when my 16 hours of fasting time is up. Which also, again, keeps me accountable to going into the app, which encourages me to track my food. So all of these things kind of work together to keep me more accountable, right, to my process. So the other thing that I'm really working on is movement that fits my life. So I talked about how I've fallen off with my exercise a little bit. So I'm going to restart with a goal that feels realistic to me of 2 to 3 days a week, and really getting consistent with that, and then I'll build on that. What works well for me to make sure that I actually make it to the gym or work out is that I schedule that movement on the calendar ahead of time. So I'll put it on my phone calendar, I'll write it on my wall calendar. I'm a girl that very much lives by my schedule, right? So if it's not on my calendar, it doesn't happen. But if I block it on the calendar for a set period of time, it keeps me accountable. Like, yeah, Toya, you did put that you were going to work out today at 6. Then now I'm challenged to work out today at 6, right? And even with this, I give myself some flexibility. I don't just go to the gym, right? I have a couple different workouts that work for me. I love to walk. I also mentioned that I run intermittently. I do go to the gym sometimes, and I've utilized the Zing app, which is basically like a personal trainer in your pocket, and has made my gym workouts feel much more effective, helps reduce the intimidation that I feel when I go to the gym, right? Another way that I incorporate movement is by using Apple Fitness. I have an Apple Fitness membership, and I utilize the at-home workouts. There's all kinds of things like strength, Pilates, kickboxing, yoga. There's all kinds of things in the app that work well for me, so that if I don't want to go out for a walk because it's freezing or it's raining or something and I don't want to go to the gym, I can still pick a workout in Apple Fitness that feels right for me. I'll schedule 3 days on my calendar that I'm going to work out, and then depending on how I'm feeling that day, then I choose my activity. If I'm feeling really good, that may be a gym workout day, and I've got my Zing app to, help me be successful with that. If it's a day where my energy is a little lower, but I really want to get some movement in, a walk is always a go-to for me. It's such a great low impact workout, and I love it, and it kind of forces me to get out into the air and get some fresh air and sunlight. It is winter here on the East Coast. However, I put my hat and my coat on, some gloves if I need them, and head out. That as well is another way that I fit movement in that I'm going to get back to. So I know you heard me mention about alcohol and wanting to cut that back, because I noticed that has been, creeping up as well. That's another strategy, right? As I really want to be mindful of my alcohol intake and its impact. I plan to cut alcohol outside of social situations. And really, to be honest, I'm considering going on an alcohol fast for the rest of this holiday season and going into the new year. This really helps me with resetting not only my physical health, but with mental clarity, as well as, my own spiritual growth goals that I have. So those are just a few things that I noticed when I did a deep dive on really being honest and aware of myself and with myself about why I've gained, some weight recently. And like I said, I'm not going to use this as an opportunity to beat up on myself. I'm not going to use this as an opportunity to make excuses. What I'm going to do is really just be mindful. Ooh, this is a bonus thing. This just came to me today and I didn't note it for this video. However, also I have had a huge increase in cravings for sweets lately. And that can really be an issue for me around the holiday season. I love cake and cupcakes and all that kind of stuff anyway, but especially around the holiday season when it's everywhere, it makes it a little bit more challenging. I also am being more mindful of my carbs. I talked to my husband and told him, with meals moving forward, I'm just going to do a protein and, fruit or vegetable with it as opposed to like rice or pasta or any of those kind of carbs. So I'm really going to work to limit carbs in my diet as well as like sugars and, tea and coffee, stuff like that. So that's also something that I am going to do to help boost me beginning to lose weight again and getting back on track. This isn't about trying to look a certain way or be a certain size. That is a part of this, but more of what it is about getting back to a size that feels right for me, getting back to the picture of health that I've defined for myself, and that includes feeling good in my skin, having the energy that I need, moving my body in ways that feel meaningful to me and that's consistent. And so I also encourage you to think about, what does health look like for you and what do you need to do to get there? So guys, I think I gave you a lot to think about and to consider for your own journey and sharing my journey. And I will commit to coming back ongoing and just checking in with you guys, letting you know what's working well, what's not working well, what I need to, recalibrate on. And I would love if you guys would share, is weight loss a goal for you for 2026? If not weight loss, what other health goal do you have? Maybe it's around building strength. Maybe you want to run a marathon, which I do plan to run a 7K in March, right? So I'll come back and talk a little bit more about that. But share with me some goals that you have, as well as if you've been through this journey before, right? Where you have maybe been successful with weight loss and then the weight came back on again. Were there things that you did to help reset you? Did you kind of give up and now you're feeling motivated to restart? Let me know where you are. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. And listen, if there was anything that you heard in this video to encourage you, please like and subscribe. Hit that bell so that you can get notifications when I release new videos. I will be coming back on more to release more content, not only about just healthy living, but I speak a lot to moms and lifestyle planning and different things like that as a mom, which I know many of you can relate to. Remember guys, this is not about starting over, but it's about returning to yourself and the best version of yourself. This is progress over perfection. And remember that you can have grace for yourself as well as having discipline with yourself. Those two can coexist. Until next time, I'd love to hear where you are, and stay tuned for more episodes from Toya Talks. See you next time.